They're treating you like equals. That's what we asked for. Not only that, but let's be realistic here. If more men offered up their seat, a lot of women would automatically assume that he expects something out of it, or that he's flirting with her. He could be a married man. Or some women would even get angry. Oh, what, you don't think I'm capable of standing up? Men literally can't win. He opens the door for a woman and gets yelled at for the same thing. Men don't owe you anything. And this entitlement here is a big reason why a lot of men don't want to do these things. Because you're expecting it. You're mad that they're not doing it automatically. So what, if a man realistically offered you his seat, would you have said thank you? Would you have...
For some reason, these modern women have gotten it in their heads that they can treat a man any kind of way and they can still be treated with respect, and now you're saying that no, that's not the case. Be respectful.
Why men don't initiate anymore? Initiating and talking to a woman used to be a display of confidence. Men would do this constantly, and oftentimes they would get a yes. They would take you out. They would get to know you, see if you were a good fit. But now, it's a huge risk. He might get labeled as desperate, creepy, incel, any other negative term. He might be filmed. It might be posted on social media. Men were told to stop chasing. So they did. Men were told to not double text. So they stopped. Men were told heavily to not pursue uninterested women. And I actually agree with that one. But the problem is, women are so vague and subtle, there's really no way of knowing if she's just playing hard to get or if she's genuinely not interested. So a lot of men play it safe by removing themselves. When men make the first move, it's not just that anymore. Oftentimes, the woman's not even reciprocating. He has to not only risk rejection over, multiple times, every time he sends a text, he has to carry the conversation and absorb the silence from you and not know what's going on. It stopped being mutual. Next time you wonder why men aren't approaching you, you see a guy that you find attractive, approach him. Or make it stupid obvious. But a lot of ladies don't know how to quite do that. You look at him or give him a little smirk and you think he just read your mind. Doesn't work like that. Hand him a piece of paper with your phone number on it. Let's bring that back. You know, when women used to write their phone number on a receipt or a napkin or whatever she could get her hands on, his arm, just take the marker and write your number on his arm. Something. Do something. How do you show your man that you actually respect him? A lot of men don't want to be in a relationship where they're not respected. You don't edit him in public. If he says something wrong, maybe he's telling your guys' mutual friends a story, and he gets some of the details wrong. Don't jump in and be like, no, it was actually on this day and this time and this weather. Is it really necessary? Now, if you guys have a private moment and it means that much to you, then you could tell him, I guess. But be careful with this type of thing. Appreciate all of his efforts and then ask for small adjustments. What sounds better? That looks like crap! Do it again. Or, thanks for doing the dishes, honey. Oh, next time could you put the pan in the drying rack? I don't want that in the dishwasher. A lot of men give up because their effort isn't recognized. It's like those funny skits that we see. They're not that funny, but a man will clean the entire house and then she gets home from work and notices the garbage is full. But he did everything else and the only thing she cares about is the garbage. Next, never ever test him. That's not funny or cute. If he constantly feels like he has to audition for you, he's not going to feel respected.
You're good for nothing else besides... I don't give a fuck, Jacob. Mute yourself. Mute yourself, you piece of shit! I swear to fucking God, I will air out all your shit across the entire fucking world. All you're good for is sex. All you do is fuck girls and lie and shit on bitches and make them listen to it.
You feel better from that? Based on what she said, okay, maybe he was a toxic, horrible human being. Maybe, okay? Doesn't mean that gives you the right to say some of those horrible things that she said. Ever! Not only that, but when you do that to these types of people who are toxic, you're getting on their level. You're being just as toxic as he is by yelling at him like that. And the reality is, he's just gonna see that as he made the right decision by doing whatever he did to you. So he just justified it to himself. So if there was any chance of him potentially having remorse for the things that he does, that just got thrown right out the window. The best way to deal with this is just by leaving him and ignoring him and moving on with your life. And this is not gender specific. Goes with everybody. You don't give toxic people the attention they so desperately crave. Instead, you let them face the consequences of their own actions, because usually that's coming. Because you only can do things for so long and keep getting away with it. Eventually, it does catch up to them. That's why you go mind your own business and do your own thing. You don't get on their level. And maybe he wasn't even that bad and she's just doing this for nothing. Okay, what about throughout the year? Does he work full time? Is he paying the bills? Do you know how to pay the electricity bill? Do you know how to pay the mortgage? Because we always remember women's contributions to the relationship, but we conveniently forget men's. Also, all the garbages he took out, the stuff he does around the house, the cooking during the year. What about all of those things? And what I've noticed is men don't force women into the kitchen. For a lot of women, it's habit and even preference at times. Because if those men went outside and started grilling some steaks on whatever holiday, you probably wouldn't be thrilled about that. Especially if that ended up being the dinner, is, steak and maybe a baked potato or nothing, just the meat. And a lot of women, they don't want your help in the kitchen. We all know if a man came in and was like, how can I help? What would you like me to do? Or if he started helping himself to the Tupperware and he started actively trying to cook something, you probably would get mad at him because he's not doing it right. It has to be done a very specific way. Don't touch the decorative towels. A lot of men already did their part. They paid for all the food you're about to make. They paid for the dishes you're working with. They paid for the countertop you're working with. They paid for the house that you're in. And he wants one day to relax and watch the game. Valid.
Starting off strong with he wants you to text him first. What the fuck is that? Literally, what the fuck is that? What do you mean you were waiting for me to text you first? Why the fuck would I ever text you first? Why the fuck would I do that?
Texting first is about being interested, mutually, reciprocal. Some of you people don't know what reciprocating means. Texting first has nothing to do with being feminine or a man being in his princess era. In fact, that's how you get a good man. The fact that men are always required to initiate, chase, and create all the momentum in the relationship is absolutely outdated and ridiculous. Men have been told for years to not chase a woman, to read the room, to have awareness. Don't be needy. And now when men listened and did exactly what we asked, they're called princesses. Are you kidding me? Men never want to feel like they're bothering you, which is why you need to reciprocate.
Every single man that we have met or experienced has always been an abuser or a cheater or an addict or all three. My first husband, all of my boyfriends, my father, my grandfathers, my cousin's father, my cousin's husband, her first husband, her second husband, every single man in our family line, and every single man that me, my sister, my mom, my aunt, or my cousins were involved with, were all just these awful people. And while I'm sure that there are great men out there, I'm sure there's a lot of very great men. I just have not personally experienced that. Everything is all good on the surface level, but when you really get to know a person, it's always psychotic. And I don't even know why I am making this video and telling everyone this, but I just don't know. I really expect better from people. I'm making a stuffed pumpkin for dinner right now, and I'm just so burnt out.
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry that you've been through so much. I'm glad you still recognize that there's probably good men out there, even if you haven't met them yet. But not to be rude, look at the common denominator with all of this. It's you and, your friend that you mentioned. I'm not saying this to be rude, but your normal meter is calibrated when you're younger typically. That's why some of us who had rough upbringings often date the same person over and over, where we end up in similar situations over and over, and then we're more likely to surround ourselves with friends who have been through the same things as us because you naturally connect with those people. But what ends up happening is all of you guys end up dating similar people, and then instead of realizing there might be something going on with you, you blame all of the people that you've interacted with. And I'm not saying you're going out of your way to cause this for yourself, but you might be running into those good men that you mentioned that might exist. They might be right in front of you. But when that calm, respectful man shows up, you might not be attracted to him because he's calm, he brings peace. You might think he's suspicious or too nice, and that's worth considering. You might not feel chemistry with this guy initially because it's not what you're used to. Also, do you set reasonable boundaries in your relationships? What are you looking for as far as men go? Obviously, I don't have much context to work with here. You didn't give specifics, so I'm just taking guesses. But what I've noticed is sometimes the red flags are right there in your face, but because you're not used to seeing them, you're blinded by them. I notice a lot of women online encourage other women to date men for superficial things. How he pays on the date, how he presents himself, these stupid little things that really don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of his actual personality. Because the reality is, some of the actually toxic people out there can fake it. And this is not gender specific. That's why you really need to look for the deeper qualities of a human being. Do they try their best? Do they have high integrity? Do they care about other people and are empathetic? I really suggest in these situations you either work on yourself privately or even go to a professional that can be super helpful to help you break down some of your patterns and know what to tolerate, what to not tolerate, how to set boundaries, how to communicate effectively, so you know what kind of men to realistically attract into your life. And again, not gender specific, but there are people out there who are toxic that do search out people who are very giving and loving. And I don't know your personality, but maybe you're in that group. People who are toxic, both men and women, will look for people who doubt themselves often, who over-explain, who fear conflict, who deep down believe it's their job to heal the other person when that's not your job. While I'm a firm believer that people need to be empathetic, loving, and understanding towards men, especially because they don't get a lot of it, both men and women need to have limits somewhere. Because if you don't have limits, it's like takers don't have any limits. They're gonna keep taking. But I highly suggest working on yourself so you can see kind of what you're doing that might cause these people to be attracted to you. Or if you're maybe someone who also can't take accountability, you could work on that as well. Because you have to be the type of woman that a good man would realistically want, and maybe there's some traits that you can cultivate within yourself.
You know, there's not a lot that you can do about the people that you grew up with. Not a lot that you can do about family. Honestly, I'll even give you some leeway when you grow up and you get into a toxic relationship, and then it takes you a little bit of time to figure out, oh shoot, I shouldn't be doing this. I used to be toxic, or I used to think that was okay. But over time, when you keep on having those experiences, I think people in general expect you to learn from those experiences and say, wow, like this is not healthy. I can't continue going on like this. I need to do something different. But there's a lot of modern women that don't. I'm thinking about Chloe. Her handle online is Roma Army, and the stuff that she had to go through. I think she actually made an OnlyFans at one point in time for I think was a short period of time, maybe. I can't remember. I heard her talk about it, and I heard her say how she was trying to basically pay money to get this scrubbed and deleted from her history. So there's people out there that go all the way, and they do things that they later regret, and they try to undo it. But modern women today want to continue down the path of this happened to me, that happened to me, and when somebody suggests that they change it and make a new life for themselves, create a different reality for them, their kids, if they have any, then all of a sudden I could never do that. I'm going to always be the victim.
Your husband's recliner is ruining your home.
Yeah, because something that he uses to relax in ruins the whole home. Oh no. Why is it that we treat anything and everything that brings a man comfort or joy like it's a waste? It's his home too. This is why so many men feel used and not appreciated. I'm hoping that this is just like a skit or something, or maybe he was hired to carry her stuff. I don't know. I feel like this is the reality of a lot of relationships where he's carrying everything and she's kind of clueless about what he carries. But she'll happily ask him to do more, hence handing over the purse. I see this, whether it's their friends or family, and then they're like, I am not taking that chance of ending up in a relationship where I give everything and get nothing back.
Hey babe, sorry, I'm a little busy right now, but I'll call you as soon as I can. Love you, bye. 5 seconds.
In all seriousness, what's the goal for this? Because from his perspective, that's the last thing I would want to do is actually go out of my way to text her when she's shaming him online to everybody. I know for a lot of men, they're busy. They're busy at work. They're focusing. They're getting things done. They don't have time to stop even for that 5-minute text. I read somewhere that when you get distracted by something, when you're doing deep work, it takes on average 20 minutes to get back into your deep work. So this 5-second text actually is 25 minutes at the very least. Even then, if she nicely explained to him how much she feels loved when he reaches out, even with a short text, when she emphasized how much she appreciates and loves that, I bet you he would do it more often. Shaming him is not the way to go. And it's so weird to me how often we see on social media women shaming men for this and that, and then they're sitting there bitter and angry that the men in their lives don't give them what they want. And she's treating him like he's stupid, like he's never sent that text before. Like he's so clueless he didn't know it took 5 seconds. Like she's training him like he's a dog. And deep down, a man sees that and knows he's not being respected. It's so weird and baffling to me that women think that this is going to be what they get, how they get what they want out of a relationship. I know from experience that some men, they don't text you while they're at work. They don't call you because they're focused. They're trying to hurry up and get their job done because they want to come home to you sooner. They know if they get this and this and this and all these tasks done, they can leave. So that's what they're trying to do. But women always seem to take everything a man does in a negative light. And if a man feels like he's being audited by his wife, girlfriend, he just opts out. Like, he already gets audited at work. He doesn't want to be audited at home in his personal life. He doesn't see that, oh yeah, I should definitely text more because she's shaming me on the internet. He's like, nothing I do or say will ever be enough for this woman. Instead, it's so easy. You can say, oh, I love it when you check in throughout the day. If you have a minute, could you text me every once in a while? I love that. I feel so appreciated and cared for when you do that. That's like my favorite thing. And then see how he reacts to that. And that doesn't mean you're going to get everything that you want 24/7. I mean, if you have strong preferences for a few things, make sure to tell him that. Tell him how it makes you feel. Tell him how much you love it. Appreciate when he does it and don't punish him for when he does it. Because a lot of times women be like, I want blank. He does blank, and then she punishes him for doing blank. He washes the dishes. Oh, you didn't do that right. You didn't load the dishwasher right. And then he's like, well, I'm trying, you know? And this is based on you should never correct a man in public. That's exactly what she's doing. Except internet is forever. This video can be seen by anybody in the world. So this is correction on the highest level.
Yeah, maybe he could, send a text. I really like your point about getting distracted, especially if you're in deep work. I think there is definitely something there. But I think, honestly, we like to put this on the man, but at some point in time, you have to understand that this man is working. Like, women get into a relationship with a man that's working, and then they expect him, to not work? I mean, you want this lavish lifestyle? I think there was a woman somewhere talking about how she was materialistic. I want this, I want that, I want the big rock. I want people to look at me. I want them to be, she didn't say jealous, but I want them to, kind of ogle my rock, the things that I have. I want them to look and be impressed. I want them to murmur, wow, that's a big rock. Wow, that's a big ring. Wow, he got that for her? I want them to do that. Well, he's got to work for it. The man, y'all say that y'all want a busy man, and then when the man gets busy, y'all get upset because he's not responding to every little reel and meme.
So this is Christmas.
I absolutely hate videos like this one. You guys had a conversation, you agreed that there were going to be no gifts, but you secretly expected him to get you one, but you didn't want to get him one. What in the mind games? He didn't ignore you, he didn't forget about you, he didn't disrespect you. In fact, he respected your boundaries. He respected the conversation you guys had, that no gifts were going to be a thing. And these traps are absolutely ridiculous and way too common and normalized today. If you wanted a surprise for him to put in effort, then you should have said that. If you wanted him to get you a gift, but you secretly didn't want to get him one, not fair at all to him, but you should have said that. And as a woman who's more of a minimalist that doesn't like owning a lot of stuff, when I tell my man, I don't want gifts, I genuinely mean it. I'm actually like a little I feel bad when he gets me gifts. It's like, you really didn't have to. And I mean that fully. But because of videos like this, a lot of men don't feel like they can do that because they feel like they're secretly going to make you upset or mad. And I constantly hear women saying, I want a man that listens. I want a man that hears me. Well, he heard you and now he's in trouble. This type of thing is why a lot of men have walked away from dating. It builds resentment over time. And men don't like sitting around being confused. It seems like with holidays, men can't do anything right. If they buy you a gift when you said you didn't want one, they're in trouble. If they don't buy you a gift when you said you didn't want one, they're in trouble. If they don't spend enough money, they're in trouble. If they spend too much money, they're in trouble. I mean, I've seen countless videos scrolling social media of women cooking in the kitchen and men watching the game, and these men are being shamed for it, even though they probably work pretty much every single day. Maybe they get their weekends, but a lot of men work 40 to 60 hours a week providing for their families. And the one day that they get to sit and watch the game and fully relax, that's when they're shamed. They're posted on social media as being bad partners. Oh, it's a joke. It really isn't though. And the ultimatum at the end. Oh, I guess he wants to be single next year. A lot of men hear that as, okay, one mistake and you're replaceable. They don't see that as a joke. That's basically a threat or an ultimatum. He didn't act right, so he's going to be single. What? Men internalize these types of patterns very quickly. It's like, okay, we can sit down and have a conversation like grown adults, both agree on a very specific thing, and he can still be wrong at the end of that. That's how you get a man that's constantly second guessing and overthinking situations, which unfortunately we know a lot of women lose attraction when a man does that, which is ridiculous. Because in a lot of situations, I see women build a relationship like this, where he has to be on eggshells, where he has to constantly be worried, and then she gets mad at him and loses attraction for him because he's worried and on eggshells. Holidays turn into audits. Holidays turn into traps. Instead of it being like a fun little day, you guys do the things that you want, you spend some quality time together. And there's a lot of men out there who have zero issue getting their woman a gift. They just want to know that you actually wanted a gift. And, some input from you on what you specifically want. Because sometimes you see people not give any input and then they get mad at what the gift is. You didn't help at all. Oh, he should just know what I want. Well, he doesn't know if you're running low on moisturizer or something and you want another one. He doesn't know if maybe you're trying out a new brand and maybe you just didn't like the one you had, so you're gonna get a different brand next time. He doesn't know these things. On Threads in the morning of Christmas, I was actually scrolling through and holy cow. I don't know if it's my algorithm pushing the content to me, but there were hundreds of women saying, my boyfriend didn't get me anything. My husband didn't get me anything. Or I hated the gift they got me. And it's like, yes, I felt some empathy for some of the women. But then there was a part of me that was like, okay, how many of these women sat their man down and they had that conversation. How many of these women didn't get him a gift either? And maybe throughout their entire relationship, she's like, oh, I don't like gifts. I don't want stuff. And then she's posting later because she changed her mind after a few years of dating him, and now he's in trouble. But she never exactly updated him about her new stance. But it was baffling how many women were on threads shaming their man for this and that for Christmas. But I genuinely wonder how many of these women talked to their man beforehand and laid out kind of what they're hoping for or their expectations. And was there open enough dialogue where he could communicate what he wanted and what he needed for the holiday to be special? Because those types of conversations need to go both ways, and both people's wants and needs matter. But too often we see situations where women want a man to read her mind, and then she gets upset when he doesn't quite get it right. And too often the door is closed where when he wants to bring up what's bothering him, it's not taken seriously. He's told to man up, or is just ignored or deflected or minimized, and he doesn't get what he wants either.
Secretly expecting anyone, man or woman, to get you something, knowing full well that you're not going to get them anything, is diabolical work. It's diabolical work. And modern women, they think like this. That's crazy.
When a man tells you he likes sports, what he usually means is that he likes watching TV. As a divorce lawyer who's watched women carry the whole household while he carries the remote, I can tell you this: those habits don't build a future.
Habits? Or is that how he relaxes after a long day of work? What about all the other things he's doing to build a future? I swear, men are treated like robots. They're supposed to just work 24/7 building a future. They can't have one hobby. And what I've noticed is a lot of men that actually do like sports, they like sports. I actually know a few men who don't watch TV in general, but they only watch the game. That's it. I just find it odd that I find countless videos. No matter what a man likes or enjoys, it's shamed. Imagine if men made videos 24/7 about women wanting to watch TV, or women playing games, or women playing on their phones, or women like shopping, or any other hobby women like, makeup, whatever. Women would be livid. Those videos wouldn't be allowed. But men are shamed for everything that they like.
There's a woman in the comments that says, I truly don't understand why men get such a bad rap. Are there some clueless men who do all the wrong things? Sure. But there are many men, the majority, who take care of their family and responsibilities. If they want to relax and watch a game or whatever, let them without complaining. Everyone needs some downtime. Thank you. This is what men are saying. I need some downtime. This is why there was a clip where a woman was saying, it was his wife. And she said, you don't get to come home at 5 o'clock and go to sleep. You have responsibilities. You have 2 kids and you have me. And people are like, yeah, she's right. No, she's not. If the man has his kids right there beside him and all of them are taking a nap together, he gets up a little bit later on. Maybe you start dinner. He gets up and start taking care of some of the stuff around the house. Then what did it matter? Did anybody get hurt? He took some time for himself. He recharged and he got back to doing the things around the house that you would have wanted. But if it's not on your time schedule, then all of a sudden it's a problem.
Hey babe, sorry, I'm a little busy right now, but I'll call you as soon as I can. Love you, bye. 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Okay, serious question. What is your goal for this? Yeah, communicate. Tell him what you want, what you like, what makes you happy, what makes you feel loved. You don't put him on camera and shame him to the world. Sure, maybe it takes 5 seconds. I feel like it takes more than that to open the app and do all the things. But that doesn't mean he's in a mental space where he could just do that all the time. If he's busy at work, he's focused on what he's doing. He doesn't have time to pull out his phone and text you constantly. In some cases, he probably misses you. I mean, when you're treating him good. That doesn't mean he's going to be reaching out every 2 seconds. If you think shaming him on social media is going to make him be like, wow, I really do need to text her more often, you're doing the opposite. He's going to be less likely to text you now. Shaming your partner is not okay.
And even coming back to this, That's the initial text message. You would have expected him to have an hour-long conversation with you, knowing full well he was busy, knowing full well he actually didn't have time for that. That's the initial text. You're expecting a lot more from him. You want to tell him a story that's, quite honestly, in the grand scheme of things, pointless. And you're going to take up 45 minutes to 50 minutes of his time, actually his whole entire break, where he was trying to decompress from a stressful job. You just took that away from him because you wanted to tell him how you're tired of your coworkers, when really, honestly and truly, that's probably an issue in there that you created. To be honest, maybe not all the time, but sometime. So, I get you wanting the man to text you and all that stuff, but once again, like I said, that's the initial text. There's going to be more texting and calls and FaceTime behind that.
Nothing worse than when you apologize to your husband for being a little crazy and he just says it's okay, when he should say, "You're not crazy, my beautiful, perfect, mentally stable wife." Like, he should learn how to lie by now.
We want our men to lie to us now? No, thank you. Men should be honest and not be punished for it. Unfortunately, a lot of men get punished for being honest. And if you go up to him and say, "I'm sorry, I was crazy," are you asking for validation or trying to give an apology? Because that sounds like an apology. He should accept your apology, not try to rewrite what happened. You see what I'm getting at here? Him saying it's okay means he's not holding it against you. You got the best case scenario. And accountability matters. Sometimes people overreact. And telling you you weren't crazy erases that accountability. Men shouldn't have to deny your behavior to soothe your comfort. And if you genuinely don't want to be crazy, or that you don't want that term to ever apply to you, do the necessary work so it no longer does.
This might ruffle some feathers, but men don't like women. They just like fucking women, because anything that is inherently feminine or girly or embodies just being a girl, men hate it, they downplay it, they make fun of it, they mock it, and they're disgusted by it. Whether that's girls being excited or gossiping or doing makeup, like anything, like they hate it, they make fun of it, women are emotional, blah, 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 blah. And it's just funny because they don't like women. They don't like being around women.
That's not the case at all. Men absolutely love women that treat them good and reciprocate. And just think about how often we see videos, or in general, where women put men down if they like anything that a woman likes. Those men are often considered feminine and unattractive. Also, men and women are different, and that's okay. That's a good thing. We have different interests, different likes, different things we get excited about. And I could argue the same thing, that women don't like men, because we see tons of videos shaming men for liking video games or liking sports or wanting to go out with their friends. We see a lot of men who provide for their woman. They prioritize her. They try to bring as much happiness as he possibly can into her life. But we never give those men credit. Oh, he remembers, and that's why he's not willing to play games. Because he also knows there's other women out there. And if he feels like he has to kiss your feet 24/7, and you're not reciprocating or treating him good, he's not going to put up with that long term. Men aren't going to chase or compete for you. He knows if he's in a steady relationship with you, he should get the benefit of being in a relationship with you. Not have to earn it 24/7. Not have to constantly worry that you're going to go behind his back. And when you have this mindset, it kills connection. Because you're signaling to him, you're replaceable. Remember that. And you're less likely to invest in the relationship because, again, you think in abundance as far as dating goes. That means you're not appreciating and loving the little things about him that make him unique. The things that bring value into your life. That's why we see some women go through a tough relationship and then they break up with him, or he breaks up with her, and then they're miserable and full of regret long term because they didn't appreciate what they had. And I've noticed a lot of women that say stuff like this, they think they're a massive prize. But then the man literally just has to find a woman that's nice to him to upgrade. And it's that simple. It doesn't make you a narcissist. I actually think it's wonderful when women buy flowers for themselves. If you really feel like you want them, whether you're single or in a relationship, you see some pretty flowers you like, you buy them. I feel like this is why a lot of resentment builds up when you're in a relationship. Because he cannot read your mind. You're probably thinking, oh, he hasn't got me flowers. I really want flowers. And I mean, of course, you could also ask him, but if you're at the store getting groceries and you see something you like, and this is not about rubbing it in his face or putting him down. This is about genuinely making yourself happy. If you like the look of them, you like the smell, you just like having flowers. I'm like that personally. For a lot of people, it's about self-care. Some women like bubble baths with, you know, the bath bombs and salts and such. Other ladies want a bouquet of flowers. And I feel like we put too much pressure on men to fulfill all these requirements all the time. And we forget we can also do those things for ourselves when we need it. And then it kind of relieves that pressure from him. And I mean, I'm assuming you might be single, that's why you got him. But that's just valid in that case as well. They can make your room or your home look beautiful and make you happy. And you should do that.
When I see chocolate in the store, and I want it, I buy it. I don't wait for anybody else to buy it. I buy it for myself because that's what I wanted. And I don't throw it in anybody else's face either. I buy it. Period. Now, if you're talking about maybe a birthday or something like that, where you want your significant other or the special person in your life to celebrate you, that's a different thing. But you're just buying random flowers. I wonder how much. I think this is where it gets tricky, because I wonder how many times you would do that for him. The answer is usually like maybe once every 5 years, whereas that man would have to buy random flowers for you. They preferably want it every week, but bare minimum every other week, bare minimum every month.
Don't test him. A lot of men, quite frankly, don't care about Valentine's Day. He does, though, care about you and want to make you happy if he's in a relationship with you. That's why I emphasize so much, speak up about what you want. And a lot of men flat out see it as commercial. I mean, that's what a lot of holidays are nowadays. And there's so many more expectations that are posted on social media. It's overwhelming for men. In a lot of cases, men don't even get anything for Valentine's Day. So maybe if we normalize getting men gifts a little bit more often and appreciating and loving them too, they'll be a little bit more excited about it. No guarantee, but they might. And this creates a no-win situation for that man. If he does nothing, he failed. What if you didn't want to do anything? If he does something small, bare minimum. If he does something big, oh, why only now? Why when I don't say anything, that's when you finally do something? You gave him no target to look at. If you want him to hit the target, you tell him what you want and need in that day. How you feel loved and appreciated. Heck, maybe even make the plans. A lot of men that are consistent, that show up daily, that provide stability, that are consistent. Those men sometimes fail holidays because they're so exhausted from what they do every other day of the year. For some of us, holidays isn't going to be this big extravagant thing. That's why you look at the rest of the relationship. And you're posting that you did that? If a man so much as made a joke about doing this, I mean, the police would already be pounding on his door. I'm really hoping you didn't actually do this and you're just trying to get views, but this is never acceptable and it's not cute or funny. But I have a feeling the comment section was probably filled with women supporting it. And drinking doesn't give you an excuse to do stuff like this.
Men need to stop giving us their opinion and start giving us their money. Shut the fuck up.
I thought we were strong, independent women that have our own money, so why do we need his money? Or do we only say that when it's convenient so we can put a man down? I don't know, these videos just never were funny.
Listen to me when I say this. They all cheat.
No, they don't.
There is a very easy way, and it is tad toxic, but it works to keep him from cheating. Or what's the word I'm looking for? Delay him cheating. That's it. You ready? Keep him broke. He has no money. He can't entertain any new women. Because here's the fact. To get a new woman is expensive. Dates, gifts, shopping, whatever it is. He's trying to impress her.
Men don't cheat because they don't have money. People cheat because of their character. Keeping him broke doesn't solve the problem. We all know that there's women out there who seek out men who are taken on purpose because they get some sort of weird thrill out of going after guys that are taken to see if they can steal the man from the woman. We see that all the time. That's why men get approached more when they're wearing a wedding ring. Character is ultimately what determines what he does with the opportunities presented. A person that has values doesn't suddenly cheat because their income went up. I mean, we see plenty of women who don't make much money, but they still manage to cheat on their person. And if you need to create scarcity in order to keep someone loyal, you already don't trust them. And what's kind of funny is when you create this situation, you resent his success, you discourage him from being ambitious, you spend his money on purpose on probably stupid things because you don't want him cheating on you. He starts to feel like he's walking on eggshells and he's managed. He feels like he can't fulfill his potential or do the things he wants out of life because you're incredibly insecure, and he can feel that. Men can feel it. Also, if you're constantly sabotaging a man because you're scared of what he might do, he's never going to feel like you truly love him for him. And a good man does not stay in that dynamic long term.
It's different for guys. You're wired to handle rejection. You get used to it.
Yeah, sure.
No, rejection's a practice, and it's something men are forced to do constantly. That's why there's a lot of men who genuinely struggle with rejection. It's hard to deal with. But us ladies are on the lucky end of that, where we're the ones choosing based on our options in front of us. Not only that, but we punish men for reacting to rejection. If he asks a woman out and it took a lot of courage for him to do that and he gets rejected, he can't react if you think about it. Obviously, he gets mad, she gets scared. People react badly to that. If he gets sad, he looks like he's desperate or something. There's never a positive view we have of men who put themselves out there and then got rejected. Not only are men expected to face that in every area of their life, take risks, and put themselves on the line to get rejected, but they can't even have feelings about it. When a man expresses hurt, he's told, don't be so insecure. Man up. It's just dating. That's just normal. Everyone deals with that. It's not a big deal. We find ways to invalidate all of the experiences men deal with. And the thing is, it's not, I always hear, the worst she could say is no. Oh, I wish that were the case. There's women out there that will be like, ew, gross. There's women that make videos shaming him, sometimes even posting like his face. Or you say, I can't believe a medium ugly man asked me out. Like she's so much above him. And for a lot of men, rejection hits their overall identity as a man. Because men are told from a young age that they're only valuable when they're giving something, when they're competent, when they're useful, when they're performing well and successful. If they fall short at anything, they are considered less than. And that's something us ladies will never fully understand.
Your most attractive friends are single. Yep. Here's why. I know you know. I know you're thinking of that one friend, like that one Becky that you're like, she's hot as fuck, but she literally has never had a boyfriend. Yeah, here's why. The boys, the men, the Jimmy, the John, the James are all afraid of getting their ego hurt, okay? Men go for who they can, and women go for who they want. And when you go for someone that you want, not knowing if they want you back, sometimes you get rejected. Because men are so scared of getting their ego hurt, they won't go for someone that they think will say no to them or will reject them.
No! And just being attractive doesn't prove that men are afraid of you or they're worried about their ego. What I've noticed is sometimes those women have awful attitudes. It has nothing to do with their overall appearance. Men avoid women who have bad attitudes, who don't reciprocate. Women he feels like he has to handle. Men know they have to be extremely discerning when it comes to giving out commitment. Because he doesn't want to end up long term with a woman that ends up, hurting him down the road. We all know a man that's been through some horrible situation like that. Men don't go for who they can. Men go for someone who chooses them back, that reciprocates, that they genuinely like and want to be around. If you show any inkling of not liking him back, a good man's just gonna move on with his life. He'll go hang out with his friends. Men don't care how hot you are. They're not gonna waste time when it's imbalanced. And it's funny that you say that, because I actually have some friends that are absolutely gorgeous. And they're in really good, healthy relationships because they genuinely love the man that they're with. They bring peace into his life. The relationship goes both ways. They're both happy. Or maybe he just hates driving as much as or more than you do. And this is something that you guys can discuss. You know that, right? You can be like, hey, I don't like driving. Are you okay driving? And then maybe you guys can take turns, or maybe he's willing to drive instead. But I hate videos like this. It's always, oh, he hates you if he does blank. So a woman could be in a near perfect relationship where she's really happy, see a video like this, and then she's second guessing herself. I especially worry about the younger ladies who maybe don't have as much experience dating. Oh, it's a joke! No, it's not. It's not. There's too many of these videos, and it's not funny. How is this funny?
What's something that instantly makes you not trust somebody when you meet them?
When they say they hate all men, or all men are blank, insert negative thing here. That tells me that you've been through some bad experiences and you're letting those bad experiences paint your entire outlook for half of the population. Yeah, okay. I can't take that seriously. I'll never take you seriously. And then when you go through dating and then you become even more bitter because you have bad experience after bad experience after bad experience. I know that even if a good man was right in front of your face, you wouldn't be able to see it.
This is a question for the guys. Have you ever seen a girl and your initial reaction was, holy shit, those are some really nice eyelashes?
Not a guy, but no. In fact, most men don't even notice unless it looks like you got those butterfly wings attached to your eyelashes and it's like this when you talk. That's the only time they notice. And quite frankly, it's not their favorite. If your goal is to look good for a guy, maybe just a hint of mascara, that's it.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date.
Yeah, it is. Okay, what's the whole purpose of a date? To get to know the other person. To have conversation. And a walk conveniently is perfect for that. I don't know where this entitlement comes from. What, he doesn't know you. Is he supposed to spend thousands on you the first date? Hundreds? If you genuinely believe that a walk is not a date, why don't you plan it and then you go ahead and pay for it too? Take him out. Do you even appreciate what he does for you, or you just think you're entitled to it? And these jokes aren't funny or cute. When I see these things, it basically is framing men as a walking wallet. This is why so many men don't date anymore, because they don't want to be seen as a resource to use. And that resentment builds inside him when he realizes that spending money on you is just assumed. That there's no appreciation for anything that he buys you. And imagine if we switched the genders on this for a minute. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm about to spend more of her money. Like, a man can't even ask a woman to buy him dinner without her exploding. But it's okay to make videos like this about a man. And sure, maybe you see this video as a joke, but a lot of men care about how you're talking about them when they're not in the room or in the area or on social media that maybe he doesn't look at. And yes, there are a lot of men out there who do like to provide, but they want it to be reciprocated. Whether emotional, you make sure he's got dinner, whatever it is. They want to be appreciated and loved for it and valued. They want to be seen for their sacrifices, whether he works a hard job or what he has to do to get that money to get those items for you. And he wants to be chosen for who he is as a person and it to not be just expected.
Well, a lot of these modern women don't really care about what a man thinks. That's why they say stuff like that. It's all about them at the end of the day. And, like you said in some of your other clips, this is why men are actually walking in the way, because they know that they're not valued. They know that what they bring to the table, honestly, should be 100K or more. And that's it. Emotionally available means I want you to be available to talk to me when I need you. I want you to be able to spend money on me when I need you. Give me gifts and things that I need when I need it. Other than that, get lost.